eyes fixated onto this third game of this 5-game series. Evos SG is going to be the one onto first pick, first ban on the left side, and RSG is going to be onto the right side. And lo and behold, with Matilda as well as Purple and Cooper being banned out by Evos SG, while RSG have decided to go for a different banning approach. They are no longer banning out those marksmen that we all see from Potato. In fact, this time we're looking at, different bans in this very case, Estes as well as Chang'e.
Yeah, understandably so, right? I think this Estes has been living in RSG's head for the longest of times, and they have sort of limited themselves to a draft where, if they don't want to pick up the Estes, they need to ban it out. And we've seen that happen in game 1 where they leaked the Estes to Evos. Evos picked up the Estes, Go played one heck of an Estes there. It worked out really well for them. And then game 2, RSG committed to the target bans onto Potato's picks. They banned away both, or rather all 3 of the, I would say, comfort picks that Potato could have gone for.
Wow.
And this time around, they banned the Estes for themselves. Looks like we've got Evos banning away the Benedetta as well.
Yeah, so they are not going to be themselves or perhaps even the opponents to pick up Benedetta. So not something that I was expecting from the side of Evos SG's banning, but well, it is what it is. So perhaps we won't be looking at the same kind of strategy because, well, once bitten, twice shy. I don't think the RSG will once again go down to the curveball that Evos SG has shown us. That agile, super split pushing kind of strategy that they worked on. So, well, we never know. Could it be a death ball unga bunga? Or would it be a controlling game and just completely work on lockdowns? Or maybe just work on sustainability again because Rafaela is still available.
But Granger, I think, should be the first pick coming up. No, instead it's going to be a Jawhead.
Granger.
Which means that the Granger will be thrown over to RSG. I mean, not a surprise first pick coming from Evos, right? Jawhead just has too much to offer at this point in time. You can play him as a side lane, sort of that bursty bruiser towards the late side, or you can even put him as a roaming tank, which we've seen him being popularized into that role in the recent season as well as the playoffs. So yeah, Evos, going for a no deficit pick, right? A very safety pick in the joint.
I think what Evos SG would want to look out for now, it does still make sense to work on the sustain route. Because RSG, they have already picked out 2 of the heroes, and both of which have pretty strong mid-game potential, and not to forget, burst potential as well. Outplay potential, mostly when it comes to the side of Paquito. So the bursty style is what RSG is looking out for. Not much control at this moment of time, while RSG, they are working on more of a hybrid kind of setup, right? They have got good controls from the side of Jawhead, good controls slightly from the side of Lapu Lapu, the bravest warrior, good amount of slows from the side of real world manipulation, but all in all, they have got damage.
Yeah, and you can see RSG immediately snapping away the Rafaela. I would expect an Angela ban here because looking at how Evos is going for, I think they still want to go for a bit of sustain on the Angela. Angela can be played on the side lanes as well. Once she hits that level 4, she can go for the hard guard, which works really well to their favor, right? You've got hard guard that can be popped onto the Eve. You can put into Lapu Lapu as well. If you feel like the jaw hits dive a little bit too deep, that's where the high guard comes into play. And more importantly, it also frees up a little bit of space for Potato because it's going to be hard to pick out an MM that has an Angela on top of him.
Currently we're looking at a Harif ban from RSG. It does seem like they do not want to deal with that pesky magic damage dealer when it comes to Harif. They do want to stand their ground and fight against their opponents without caring too much about standing within the opponent's Zaman force. So what RSG have so far really is all about Unga Bunga. Right? The way that they ban is to ensure that they don't get flushed out by whatever that is being put onto the playing field. What Farsa is available to put out onto the board is constant bursts of magical damage throughout a wide area, while Harif can do almost the same thing. a good amount of slows onto whoever steps on the Zaman force, and you also have full domination throughout the field as long as the opponent stays in the same area. So RSG perhaps will be looking at two more heroes that focuses more onto staying and holding their ground, and this hints very much onto Zask again, actually.
Yes, it did. I mean, we've seen RSG play a lot of the Zask, and I think they love the Zask a lot. Obviously, you know, Hungry Cars did mention in yesterday's games as well that RSG, I think they took one or two lessons out of their defeat against MPL SG, and that's where, you know, they started running the Zask lineup. It worked really well for them. You know, Sync isn't the worst Zask player out there as well. He plays a really mean Zask, so that's why I think, you know, the Zask looks really good here, but it looks like Evos, they want to focus on banning out a bit more sustain. They take away the Angela.
And finally, with an Esmeralda pick incoming. So, I would sustain, I suppose, being able to jump onto the back lines whenever and however you want with the Falling Star Moon. This is a front-heavy setup. I can expect to see Esmeralda as well as Paquito having a really strong front. They are just missing out on one more mage in order to deal out the rest of damage, and I would assume that it is more onto the bursty kind of mage. Lunox would probably put a pretty good, probably do pretty well in this very lineup.
Kagura does well as well.
Kagura, yes, but you know what? I was kind of thinking of something out of Impunity's book, Paramis.
Yeah, that's possible, but I think we should focus a little bit more on the Evos SG draft right now. You see Bruno getting picked up. I was half expecting, yeah, okay. I was half expecting the carry to get popped out as well. I think the carry looks really good if you was picking the Evos SG draft, but the Bruno also kind of does the trick, right? A kind of a bursty front line, you know, Rafaela, yes, she's going to be playing into that support tank role, but, you know, there's only so much damage that Rafaela can take, especially against the Bruno. Around the world will also do a ton of damage if RSG is going to be sticking around to get the Holy Blessing coming up from Rafaela. So I think that's a pretty decent pickup coming from Evos. Obviously, Potato's going to be playing that Bruno, one of his comfort picks. Meanwhile, RSG with the last pick. This Selena,
what do you think about that?
I like it because it does give them a bit more early control, especially alongside.
Since the opponent has a Joyhead as well, I suppose.
Yeah, but
nice.
They're gonna drop in pace. The
change
thing
their timing.
Yeah, the thing here about RSG is that they have, once again, similar to the first game, they have a lot of momentum in their favor in the first part of the game, right? You have a Paquito who's going to win the lane against this Lapu Lapu. You have a Rafaela that's going to exert a bit of a sustain in the mid lane, the Holy Blessing. You do have the Selena that's going to be able to gank out a lot, especially now that you do know that there is going to be a Lunox on the side lane before her level 4. There is no way that she's going to be dodging that Abyssal Arrow if it lands on her. So, yeah, I think RSG, I like the game plan here. You know, try to take a dominant early game, snowball out of control, give LY4 the space that he needs to farm. Once he gets the first two big items and his kit, then hopefully we can close the game out. But time and time we've seen again, Evos, they always have a reply. So we'll leave it up for both of these two teams, but here it is, potentially the final game between these two titans, Evos SG against RSG SG.
Let us go for an introductory route onto both of these teams here. And of course, representing Evos SG, we have JPL rocking and of course riding on a mechanical robot, and that is going to be Joyhead, while Pokemon riding in between of darkness and light, playing as Lunox. Girl onto that Yves, Potato, soccer player, Bruno, and Soul rocking onto being the bestest warrior, the bravest warrior. He is going to be playing onto Lapu Lapu. Onto the side of RSG, LY4, the Virtuoso, is going to be playing onto Granger. Sync onto Esmeralda as he's looking for his, well, magic carpet, I suppose. While Sana is just going to be rocking his world as he looks into the abyss, playing onto this Selena Fossa, providing healings all over the map, playing onto Rafaela, and finally Jason onto Paquito, or may I say Pacquiao.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sick looking skin, right?
Yeah,
and obviously no better personality to take on the role. You know, one of the best boxers in our generation. And yep, but let's not talk too much about the skin. Top lane, we do have Lapu Lapu being pushed back to... He nearly gave the first blood there, right? So nearly dropped. He's having a bit of difficulty against this Esmeralda. I would have expected them to kind of swap lanes by now. You know, Lunox does do a bit better against the Esmeralda, you know, a little bit more of that long range damage, doesn't really want to stick too close. But either way, Lapu Lapu is going to have a hard time on both sides of the map, right? You're going against a Paquito who's going to have a lower burst. You don't have to sustain early game to really match up against that bursty boxer. Meanwhile, top lane, you're going to just completely get beaten down by Esmeralda. But there is the early game that I talked about, right? Sana going the Abyssal Arrow, catches him, first blood.
He's staring into the abyss. The abyss stares back at you. And it does seem like JPL is going to be the first one to look into that deadly mirror. So really well played coming in from the side of RSG, taking the first shot in. Oh! That far range abyssal arrow captured onto Pokemon. Unfortunately, power of brilliance gets him out. But unfortunately, Jason jumps himself back in, managing to survive that not survive on the onslaught. But Jason himself still went down to the side of Evos SG, giving them a single kill to their name. But all in all, that has been a great start for RSG. They are landing the shots, man. Not having a Lolita in the opponent's side definitely made a very big difference.
Oh, JPL trying to do a little bit of a cheeky ejector there, tries to toss him above the wall, but doesn't really work out well, but that's fine. You know, you got 4 stars, just gonna TP back to base, heal up. Evos SG here now, trying to buy time, and we know Evos, you know, they usually will be able to pull through when, you know, the items come up online, but you can see RSG putting on their bestest effort to give Lunox a bit of a bad game. She is the squishiest hero on the map currently, next to Eve, and talking about Eve, nearly going down there. Oh, Gretchen with the Sonata folds up the rest of the, but JPL will take those shots in place of Girl. Oh, so close.
It does seem like RSG, they are slowly getting their footing, right, against Evos, pushing them back to base and then taking the fight in the other ways, such as the fact that they are just putting, well, major damage over to the side onto the turret here in the middle lane. Unstoppable force coming from JPL as flickers himself away from Sana after realizing that he is a little bit too deep in with not much support, not much ways to get himself out of it all. As Potato dashes himself, slides himself right next to Sync as Soul finishes off this Esmeralda, and they do have free real estate all the way in the top lane while RSG were busy holding off the middle lane and allowing Granger to once again get another turtle to their team.
Looks like they're going to be swapping objectives as of now, but RSG getting a bonus turtle in the process, getting a lot of dominance on map control in the bottom half of the map. And that's where, you know, Evos kind of lacking for now. You know, they can't really rotate to the bottom side because they want to give Bruno this good early game, and hence why they are, you know, they kind of surrender this to RSG. But now we're going to see our first team fight. Hopefully Bravest Warrior comes up. The second phase will stun force are up. But there is not enough time for Evos SG to follow up from Lapu Lapu, and that's why they will back off.
Things are looking pretty steady for RSG, despite the fact that we are only looking at 5 minutes into the game. They're putting quite a lot of emphasis down here in the bottom lane. Unfortunately, the Abyssal Arrow just did not land right on top of Soul, but it should be pretty much a-okay. The bottom lane turret is now destroyed as they are continuing, they are going to continue their pursuit and onslaught all the way to the middle lane as Sana pushes himself in onto JPL, almost getting it as the bouncing ball just gonna be, well, bouncing between Forza as well as Sana. But alas, no kills that has been credited over to Evos SG for now.
RSG now trying to capitalize off that early game momentum that we spoke about during the drafting phase. And yes, you know, they do have this 3k goal lead, but let's see where they take with this benefit that they have.
The boy Crystal dealt a decent amount of slow right on top of Jason, while most of Evos SG have started their initiation right onto LY4, completely tossing him out of commission, while Jason was completely slowed to his death. He wasn't even able to get himself closer by getting himself the jab, because that he's already in champ state. He can't possibly just waste his champ state. He would want to find his way into the fight by using a double knockout strike. So that was a small little problem from the side of Jason. He didn't want to waste the champ state, and thus that is the death of LY4. Or maybe they don't even care about it because he's completely out of position.
Oh!
Here we go, the bravest warrior just gonna be popped right out. JPL with the unstoppable force, round forcer, pushing him away. Jason with less than half HP. The power of the Order Brilliance from Pokemon just gonna be getting himself closer and closer to Sync. Really good power of the Chaos Darkening from this Lunox. Gets his last shot in onto Sync and allowing themselves to get more and more of those juicy rewards.
Pokemon flickered the moment he saw Sync use his Falling Star Moon, and that was how quick Pokemon actually adapted to it, right?
It was like a double, right?
Yeah, like
sliding
the moment he knew that Esmeralda was going to be slightly out of the range, he just goes in, and once again the Chaos Shot comes through, nearly gets Jason there, and now Sana in a bit of trouble himself as well. One more shot should do the trick. Potato with the crit.
Pokemon!
1,600 damage, and boy oh boy, is that Bruno starting to pop off. Meanwhile, Sync and Forza trying to defend. Oh, look at how quick things gets deleted, bursted into flames.
Oh, no way. Now, this is the power comp of Evos. They're starting to receive their power spike. There's just no way that you can just jump right in like that. Especially when you have got a Pokemon that can just go into Darkening and throw all those Chaos Assaults onto you. Not to forget, we are also looking at JPL, where you're tossed right up into the air. All the smart missiles will be jumping all onto you. So Sync can't jump in onto the front lines like that. In fact, jumping on the back lines, we will only be able to catch Potato or even Pokemon. Once Pokemon gets himself into brilliant state, you are already on a timer.
It was now JPL once again with another toss Forza in a bad spot. That's going to be 20 seconds without the Rafaela and without the sustain. Can RSG find a fight here? LY4 playing with fire. JPL looking to groove for another ejector.
Double NOD from Pokemon and Girl. Yeah, ensuring that Jason as well as Sync do not even get themselves that good old healing potential, but most importantly, completely denying this Rafaela from the holy healing. Double NOD this early into the game. How gruesome is this?
It's definitely tough. It's definitely tough.
A lot of respect that Evos is putting into this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a natural build for the Eve, but you know, for Pokemon to go into it as well. Well, speaking about Pokemon, he's waiting for JPL to get the toss in. Sana gets tossed onto the back line by LY4. First one to go down, the bravest warrior will smash him into bits. Sync, next one to go down, the Crivel Potato. Too much for the Esmeralda to deal with. No chance for a sustain. And now it's down to Sana to defend the mid lane as Jason tries to find something onto the top side. But here we go, JPL already spawning. Will he go to the top or will he join the mid? It doesn't seem like Evos will waste any time. They want to quickly take this tier 3 while 3 members of RSG are yet to be up.
And now they're just gonna be knocking onto the inhibitor turret here into the middle lane. Unfortunately, they do not have any lore to work with, but it's okay, they don't even need to do that, as we do have the power of the Order of Brilliance. This is gonna be popping right out, coming from Pokemon. They are all gonna be getting themselves away and far away from RSG, because they don't even need to do or even force out a fight. Evos, they know that they are on a lead now. They do have a massive potential in the mid and the late games. Sync just can't go online just yet, but it is not the end game. He got Enchanted Talisman. He also got himself the Calamity Reaper. What's gonna be next is to ensuring that he gets himself a good amount of Oracle to ensure that he stays alive from Girl or even Pokemon. And surprisingly, he can burst down Potato if he does things right. As we goes on to the next part of this fight, the Void Crystal coming in from Eve slows Jason down. He used the Flicker to get himself out of all of that team fight. It is going to be a 4v4 at this point in time, as Soul is currently out of commission. But Evos SG, they know they shouldn't get involved anymore. And of course, also because of the law, it will be popping right out in 5 seconds time.
One shot from Potato. That was all it took to bring LY4 down to half HP. So you can definitely see, you know, this is where the Bruno pops off. This is where it's so dangerous to give Potato, the amount of time that he had to farm. Just about 4 minutes ago, we were talking about how RSG had this early game lead. But where is the lead now? It's just gone. Evos now having a 5k goal lead ahead of their rivals.
The game is clearly not over. Most of that late game transitions, I'm going to be looking a lot and into Sync, Jason, as well as LY4. Because the thing is, if Sync goes in with a great falling star moon and just sticks himself into the face of Potato, there's really nothing much a Potato can do. With all of that movement speed coming in from the Stardust dance, everything just can bring him forward and zone Potato away. So the late game, it is not over for RSG just yet.
Yeah, but now RSG, they need to find that one huge team fight that they've been looking for, right? You got Esmeralda Singh already gearing up to take a fight, but somehow Evos always finding a catch with JPL, right? And it has been Forza who's been caught out time and time again, constantly being on the booting, receiving end of that ejector. But now, here we go, JPL once again trying to spearhead for Evos.
It doesn't seem like things are looking to be very good because the Mega Creep is just going to be pushing right down in the bottom lane. While Paquito, he's pushing all the way up top. He needs to get himself back home right about now because JPL, he will definitely be opening up the map. A single swing of those axes from the Lord is just going to be popping quite a lot of damage. But Sync, oh, he received so much chaos assault damage. JPL is going to be going on with a really nice flip right on top of the Y4. One of the carries just pretty much dead. We're coming up.
Oh, is it over? Oh!
1% and RSG goes back home just like that. Evos SG is your one and only victor when it comes to the MPL SG Season 1 in a flawless victory throughout the matches in this Grand Finals Best of 5 series, as they are more than ready to go in and touch that trophy.
They worked hard, they worked smart, and they deserve all the congratulations from us casters as well as the talent team. I mean, what a journey this has been for them, and what a return from Seoul. We spoke about the stability that Seoul came back in, and we talked about, you know, Go coming into this lineup, huge shoes to fill, playing that support role, a bit of a team dynamics, you know, maybe it's shaky, maybe it wouldn't work out, but they came smashing through the regular season, dropping only 1 series to Kingsman, but they faced against their demons. They knocked Kingsman to the bottom brackets, and that's where RSG picked up the rest, 2-0ing their way through the lower brackets. A very brutal victory, but eventually at the end, they hit a stone hard rock wall, and that is none other than Evos SG.
This is quite a bit of a performance from the side of Evos. There's a lot of talent predictions that went towards the side of Evos SG to take home the win, but none of us have predicted for Evos SG to go home with a flawless victory against RSG. I'm baffled, I'm flabbergasted, I'm bamboozled because of the very fact that RSG, they were so strong in coming up from the bottom bracket all the way to the grand finals. I had a lot of expectations on them, and they are such a strong team, and they have proven many people, the viewers, us, all the way, like completely just smashing ideas, completely smashing our expectations. They were so good. But when it comes to fighting against Evos, I guess this just means that Evos is a league all of their own.
Well, and this is why all the fans at home will be doing the Evos Roar, and I gotta say, that is... flawless is an understatement. Yes, it's a trio victory, but it's that the way they did it.
It's a convincing win. Yeah. All in all.
Yeah. They worked around the draft, they did so well, and not only that, every single time it looked like they were losing the early game, they held on to their cojones, they knew that they had to dig deep, and that's what they did, and that's why they're so deserving of that champion status. Once again, a very big congratulations to Evos SG for picking up the trophy, and not only that, winning the MPL Singapore Season 1. And well, it's a double victory. They won the MPL ID playoffs, and now they win the MPL. It's a double victory. It's a 2-0 over regions. What's next?
You know
Are they going to conquer the Philippines? Are they going to conquer Malaysia as well?
I think that whatever that you have said, they are all major victories, right? Because upcoming, we also have like some tiny victories to the name of Evos. Remember, Girl won Best Rookie. And of course, Best Overall Season is the one and only Potato, as he just gets himself in to get himself the overall win, while Pokemon is the MVP for this very game itself.
What a clean sweep. Evos picking up almost every single reward that they can. 3 kills, 2 deaths, 6 assists. But like Abstract mentioned, he is the overall MVP.
Oh, Pokemon! Oh! Man, oh man, because the thing is, Potato is also the overall champion. You know, there was this other thing that we were looking at, the overall, wow. Okay, so Evos SG took 3 things away from MPL.
No, they took away 4 things.
Oh, 4 things, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
they took away 4 things.
Yeah, they took away 4 things.
Right, they took away the MVP for the regular season for Potato.
Yes.
They pick away the MVP of the playoffs through Pokemon.
Yes.
They pick away the
best rookie?
Yeah, the best rookie in Go. And then they also walk away as the champions. Like, what more can you win? Like, can you win my heart? They won my heart. They won my heart. They definitely won my heart. So that's 5 things.
They won my excitement. They won Aris's heart. They won the hearts of every single one of these viewers. And once again, congratulations over to Pokemon for being the overall MVP throughout of the entire MPL SG and
the playoffs.
Yes, and he's going to be going back home with a total of $1,000 for himself.
Cha-ching! Hola, hola, dollar! Woo!
Man, oh man, this has been quite a journey.
Yeah, this has been, but I'm pretty sure that, you know, that $1,000 is just a small amount. It's all about the glory. They spoke about all the expectations that they had on their back. You know, So coming back. Hungry said that So had so much, you know, nerves and so much pressure on him coming back as a returning player. He was playing better than the first game, but it felt like he didn't even left the team. He just slotted in flawlessly. You know, the team kind of just gelled together. It made them look even stronger. And well, unfortunately for RSG, commemorations, but they still walk away as our 2nd place team. Not too shabby, given their troubles in the regular season.
Yep.
But well, hopefully we will see more to come. I'm definitely excited for the next season. I will be keeping my eyes out on the local scene. I want to see who will be joining these Titans in the Season 2 of the MPL SG.
And this is something that we will only find out after we look at the entirety of the PvP Esports qualifiers, you know, the PvP Esports Season 3 Championships Tournament. So if you want to be part of Season 2 of MPL SG, that is where you will want to start your journey at. Yep. Take a look at www.pvpesports.gg/tournaments to sign up.